Hey, everybody, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. It's Friday night. There's a little bit of lag going on, so Cory, if you fall a little behind, you'll figure that out.
All
I'm
right.
trying to figure out why we're not going. There we are. We're going live.
We found a lot of shit.
Let's see. I lost my feed here. I'm trying to get back on it. There we go. All right, we're good. We're good. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Another Friday Night Lines. How you doing? Let's see who's in the house. All right, we'll go to my participants here. We got Ace, Avid, Betty Jean Cross, the incredible. We got Norrin, Catfish Headhunters, Creole Catfishing. Creole, I saw you on the replay of Chad's show last night. You were awesome, my friend.
We got Norrin, Catfish Headhunters.
Eddie Gross. Thanks for tuning in, Eddie. I don't recall your name. We got Fishing with the Chad. What's up, Chad? Jonathan from Hooked Catfishing. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. We got D, James Dockery, the man. LG Bass. Hey, I saw you out there going for that walk today. Good for you, my friend. Palmetto Cats. What's up, Kevin? Rex Blocker. Robert Chance. Stan, the man. Ryan. What's going on, Setting Hooks? How you doing, Redbeard? Who else we got in here? We got Tim Molina, what's up? Let's see who snuck in here if I can notice. Norm, Kitmando Outdoors, how you doing? We got a new viewer there. Welcome to the show. Chunky, the man. Elston Perez, what's up, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. Mike Turner, I saw came on. Michael Morello, the man. Hey, what's up, brother? How are you? Let's see. You guys are popping in here. I said hello to Creole. If I missed somebody, please forgive me. I don't mean to. You guys are coming in pretty fast and furious, which I like to see. So that's awesome. So, hey, everybody. I'd like to introduce our guest today, Cory Walton. How are you doing today, Cory?
Oh, great. I'm doing real good.
You're doing really good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost him. We lost Cory. He'll be back. While Cory's trying to get back on, I kind of got some notes here from This Week in Catfishing. All right, folks. Monday night we had Catfish Weekly. Catfish Weekly was Fin Seeker TV, Jeremy and Braden Colvin. Cory's coming back. Let's see.
Yeah, all right. Hopefully I'll come back.
That's all right, Cory. I kind of went into what was happening this week, so hold on a minute. We'll get right back to it. So this Monday was Catfish Weekly with Lyle and James. He had Fin Seeker TV as a guest with Jeremy and Braden Colvin. Also, I want to make sure you guys check out Dinks Outdoors. That's Braden's channel. Promising young man. I checked out his channel. He did a really good panfish video. Check it out. And just so you guys know, all the links from this are in the description. So go ahead and click on them. Check out the videos from the week. There's some good stuff out there. On Tuesday night, we had Muskrat Adventures. He covered a transition to fall catfishing, where he talked about tactics, gear, and we did some miscellaneous electronics talks too, which was kind of cool. We did a little problem solving, so check it out. On Wednesday night, James Smith did the Patriot Catfishers of America show. He had an awesome guest, David Martin. I actually friended him on Facebook, got to see some of his pictures. That guy gets on the flathead, let me tell you. That guy knows what he's doing. If you get a chance to check him out on Facebook, do. Shoot him a friend request. We had the bait shop on Thursday. It was an open bait shop since Mr. Dockery wasn't able to make it there for the whole show, which is understandable. He was doing an admirable thing and helping all the kids learn how to cane pole fish. Some of the guests he had on there was Ace Catfishing, and he also had a rod giveaway. Had Matt the Knife on there. Creole Catfishing. That's the first time I saw Creole on a live feed. Creole, you're the man. You were a great guest on there. Lyle was on there. Lyle's always a great guest. What surprised me about that is Lyle was actually nice to James. You might want to check that out just to see that. K&B Angling popped in. Stan the man was on there. Stan is really starting to grow. Check out his channel. Those links are also in the description. John Patrick III, it looks like he fixed his haircut from the other week, which I loved. That was awesome. And Jim Catman Clark was on there too. And I think that's it for this week in Catfish. So let's get back to our guests, folks. This week's guest is Cory Walton. Cory, that is right. It's just Walton. Yeah, Walton, right? I'm looking at it right now.
Cory Walton. Yep.
Cory Walton. Let's see if we can get this on here. All the links to your site are in the description. You guys might want to check it out after the show. Cory is the owner and the creator at the Flatty Daddies. Real quick question as to how I came across Cory on YouTube. I have a couple of friends. They might be watching too. That he calls himself the Flatty Daddy. Do you remember me sending you that message at first? Actually,
I thought you were calling me out at first. I was like, oh, this guy must actually be the Flatty Daddy.
No. I was calling him out is what I was doing, Cory, because he's always talking smack, so I figured I'd show him what a real Flatty Daddy looks like, so I tagged him in your post. That's what that was about. Honest to God, that's what it was about. So, but I'm glad I did because, you know, we've had some talks and stuff on Facebook, and I've really enjoyed your Facebook, or not your Facebook, your YouTube channel. There's some good stuff. Trying to keep up with some comments here. All right, Cory, so tell me a little bit about how you got into YouTube. We'll start there.
Okay, well, I guess it started, I used to waterfowl hunt a lot, goose hunt, all that, and I'd make some videos here and there for my buddies. Just, you know, we had like a small group of us, and I just throw together some stuff just to have some footage. I'll be able to watch it, and I just kind of fell in love with the editing process. You know, I really like putting these videos together. So I started throwing some stuff out there for fishing. You know, clips. You know, I think everybody kind of starts doing that, just putting the little clips out, and then you know, you just get better and better with the programs. And I don't know, I'm still not there yet, but it's fun, and I'm just trying to put out as many as I can, and you know, just let everybody see the time I have out on the water.
So you do a pretty good job of that. Everything from, you know, getting your catches on film to even how you cook on that boat. I always kind of trying to figure out how to do that on my boat, and I'm like, oh, if Cory can do it, I got to be able to figure it out. So we'll work on something like that.
It's tight. I mean, you get some chop, and everything wants to go flying. I've lost a couple dogs and some eggs and all that stuff.
Yeah, those bratwursts that you make usually look pretty good. I can imagine them rolling right off the side of the boat.
I'll tell you though, anything tastes good at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So, how did you get started in fishing in general? Was it first the hunting for waterfowl and stuff? Is it something you picked up when you were really young? Is it something you picked up later in life? How did that work for you?
Well, I've been fishing since I was a kid. We actually grew up near a pond. Our neighbors had a pond, and you know, my dad would take me over, and we'd go for you know, sunnies and bass, whatever you could pull out of there. And then you know, I'd always be begging him to take me trout fishing or go bass fishing. And once I got my license, and then I started catfishing. It was always channel cats. You know, we didn't have flatheads where I grew up for, you know, when I was young. They just kind of moved in on the Schuylkill River, and you know, we started. It was kind of like hearing about, oh, do you hear about these flatheads? They get huge. You know, you need saltwater tackle, and you know, you'd catch one every once in a while. It'd be 10 pounds, and your mind would be blown. And then I moved out Harrisburg area, which is on the Susquehanna, and I actually started getting into some real flatheads, and I've been hooked ever since. But you know, I bought an old boat, and that thing left me hanging more times than it ran. So I never really could get a solid YouTube channel for a while, and then I bit the bullet, got a real boat, you know, a newer boat with a motor that doesn't leave me hanging, and it's been a lot more consistent. I get out at least once a week now, so
that's good. And yeah. I know we were talking a little bit yesterday, and you travel quite a bit to go fishing, don't you? Or you got a little ways to go from your house.
Yeah, most of my spots are within an hour and 20 minutes. But yeah, I could get somewhere in about 45 minutes, but it wouldn't be a very good spot. So yeah, it's a drive, and then when you're coming back, you know, even 6 in the morning, it's tough. it's nice to have someone with you if you can. But that doesn't happen too often.
That doesn't happen too often, especially during the week. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do see you fish by yourself sometimes, which I can admire because I do a lot of that too. And I do see you fish with what was your partner's name that you fished the tournaments with?
Yeah, Chad Barton. He's my brother.
Your brother-in-law, right?
And as anybody with Flatheads fishing, his schedule doesn't really work quite as good as mine. You know, his wife works weird hours, so he's watching the kids a lot. You know, he'd be out every time if he could. He just can't always make it.
Yeah, and I'm sure we can all, everybody in chat can relate. Life gets in the way. It's kind of hard, but you get around it. That's sure. Yeah, when you were telling me that you drive, you know, at least once a week, like an hour and a half, I was pretty impressed. You know, I'll do that once a year when I'm fishing up north, but not on a regular basis. You know, I actually timed it after talking to you. I timed it. I'm like 17 minutes from my boat ramp, and that's like not too bad. So I'm pretty happy about that. You made me appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a dream come true.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, we can fish. The Fox is a great river. It's hard to fish. They're there, but you got to work it hard. So I'm still grateful to have it that close. So yeah, that Susquehanna River. I've been reading about that since my Twitter days. I had a bunch of followers on Twitter, and there's a lot of Flathead guys that I used to follow from there.
Yeah.
And I was always impressed. They kind of fueled me at the beginning of my search for Flathead back in the day. They really did. They got the juices flowing, and so I'm happy for that. So every time I hear that, and then I find out that you fish over there, I'm like, hey, I got to talk to Cory. Like, I got to get you on here. Very cool.
It really is an amazing fishery. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How big is that river?
So in parts, it can be almost a mile wide. It's not the deepest river around. The further south you go, the more dams there are, and you start fishing in between the dams, then you can find some deep water. But when you get above those dams, it's free. I mean, if you find a 10-foot hole, you're doing something.
So it's pretty. The Fox is the same way. So it's pretty shallow river. So
yeah.
How do you deal with your electronics? How do you read your electronics in shallow water? Because I want to know, because I have a hard time. Unless I'm using SiveScan, it's almost worthless, man.
Yeah, once I get in that shallow stuff, I'm really just looking for rocks or structure. I'm not really looking for fish. It doesn't seem to want to pick up many fish. Maybe I don't have the settings just right, but I don't see much in the shallow water.
I'm always questioning the same thing because it's so hard to tell in the shallow water that if you're seeing what you're seeing or if you're missing something, because you just don't know. The return isn't good enough, and that's one of the things I don't like about fishing the shallow water. I mean, if you can find a rock pile or something, I'll sit on there for a little bit. Like last night, we parked on one for about 40 minutes and caught a couple of channels, but that's it. But at least we found it, so now I know where it's at. So I'm thinking in the spring that'll be a good spot. Been using it more to build my waypoints and stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I started using was Google Maps. It's just you can put labels on there, and you can label. Okay, it was this deep, or, you know, a big pile of rocks or a lone rock, you know, or you can put there as a ledge. Any. It's just a lot easier to use than your Garmin or Lawrence or whatever you're using.
Absolutely. You need to do a video about how to do that, because I'd watch that one. I'd be really interested in that because, you know, I'm always between Navionics. I'm between a GPS on my Garmin, and then I just use Google Maps to look for like bends and stuff, where the creeks are coming in, stuff like that, just to kind of get an idea. I didn't know you could do all that stuff with it. That's definitely something.
Yeah, you just instead of just saving the spot, you can do label, and that's what I do. I mean, you're not gonna pull sets or anything. That's all up to you. But my Garmin, the software. So
it's what? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was just saying my fish bar doesn't have the mapping, so it's all up to me there.
To get it all done, that's good. Let's see. Let's see who else we got. Any new people in the house? I see John Patrick, I think I said hello. Fishing with Papa Ed. Jonathan's still in here. Let's see what else we got. I'm trying not to miss anybody. Wow, it's filling up. We got 30 people watching. That's a good night on a Friday night. Can't complain. Kevin Baker, Little Buckets of Sunshine. Hello, how are you? New people. Mike Greenwald, how are you doing, sir? Terry Lane. We're doing excellent. So do you have any plans to travel? Is there any place you're looking forward to go? Do you just stay close because of the tournaments that are near, or are you going to start traveling a little more? Or what's the future plans for that aspect of fishing?
Yeah, so now that the tournament series I fish in, Catfish Mafia, that's fun for the season. So I'm going to start traveling down to the Potomac. It's down below Washington, D.C., and that's where I do a lot of my winter fishing. That's about a 40-minute drive each way. That's where the blue cats are, That's where I can get into shad, I can get blue cats, and they really turn on late fall.
Okay.
I look forward to that.
All right, you're breaking up a little bit here. I'm going to try and save a little bit of bandwidth, see if we can't clear this up here. I don't think it could just be our service. It is Friday night. A lot of people are kind of busy on there. Jonathan said blue cats, baby. Look at that. There he goes. Let's see what other chats we got.
Can't wait to start seeing your videos with the blue cats too.
I think he just posted some pictures the other day. He was talking to me about we won't talk about that. We got Redbeard in the house. He's been fishing a lot of sturgeons. Let's see what else we got here. Cool. So, if anybody has any questions, if you could enter your questions, with like questions, colon, and I'll be able to see them a little more. I'll try and get them on there. All right, so let's go through the standard stuff. Tell us a little bit about your boat. You said you after the one that wasn't as reliable. What did you pick up?
So it's a Crestliner Storm. It's a 16-footer. I instantly regretted getting a 16-footer, but that's what I thought I could afford at the time. So, but it's nice. It's a flat bottom, and it's got a jet motor on the back. Outboard jet. Because the Susquehanna is all rock. Everywhere you go, it's rock ledges, boulders. So you run a prop, you're going to just eat it up and blow your lower unit. I did that on my last boat. So, so you lose a lot of power with that jet, and a lot of steering, especially when you put it on the trailer. But it saves you money in the long run. You got to have it.
Yeah. So are you running a jet now, as you said, or was your old boat?
No, I run the jet now.
Oh, you do now? Very interesting.
It's a Mercury 60/40. It's enough. It moves the boat, but I would have thought it'd go faster. It doesn't. So, I wish I would have went bigger. That's kind of, I think everybody says after they buy their boat.
But before you buy it, you're thinking about the money you're going to save, and after it, you're thinking about the money you should have spent. Am I wrong or what?
Yep.
That's usually the way.
That's definitely how it goes. And there's a lot of compartments, and it takes up a lot of space. It always feels like you're cramped in it. So not going to be my last boat, but it gets the job done. We have tons of fun on it. So
that's all that matters. We have a lot of fun in my little boat too. Could you imagine fishing on like one of them 24-foot boats? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, and we do these tournaments, and you see these people roll up with these $50,000 boats, and you drool over it, but
you don't drool over the payments. They might get you to the grounds faster, and I'm not a big tournament guy, so I don't know how important that is in catfish tournament. But I imagine you want to get to your spots, right? But I don't know, burning 3 miles. What is it? 3 miles per gallon on like a 200 horse motor. I was reading somewhere, and that's a 4-cycle.
Jeez.
I was like, that's a lot of fuel. But if you're gonna play, you got to pay, I guess. All right, look, Jonathan has a question.
I don't know. Some of the people on 14-foot John boats, they do just as well. It's just fine. No matter how much you put on the river.
Yeah.
So.
Jonathan asked a question. He wants to know how long have you been flat fishing flatheads in your area? Or how long have flatheads been in your river? That's what he wanted to know. Sorry, Jonathan.
So there's some debate over that. The state kind of started recognizing them being there for, I think, about 10, 15 years ago. But there's guys that say they caught them back 20, 25 years ago. So, but the fishery is really, I mean, they're really building and they're getting strong now. That's the dominant fish. I'd say the last 10 years, they've just taken off.
Taken off, huh?
So they're getting bigger. I mean, our state record keeps getting beaten every year, keeps getting beaten. And this year, I think it's at 56 pounds now. So it's, you know, you look at these southern states, that's not very big, but for us, that's just massive.
Yeah, they don't have the weather to compete with. We same with us. We have the cold weather. We're going to lose a lot of fish in the winter. You know, ones that have the potential to get real big, and then the ones that do get big doesn't mean they're going to get any bigger. So, yeah, it's a different animal up in the north here where we fish. So, but it doesn't stop us though, does it? All right, Norm from Catfish Headhunters wants to know what rod and reel setup do you like to use?
All right, well, I'm a B&M fan. That's kind of the first real catfish rod I got, and I fell in love with it. So I use the Silver Cat Magnums and trying to switch over to the Elites, but, you know, money. But I also use the Abu Garcia C3s, and I have a Cat Max reel too. I started off with the cast things. I like them, but you use them every week, at least once a week. They break down.
Yeah, how's that Cat Max holding up for you?
You know, I'm actually really impressed with the Cat Max. For the price that you pay for them, it's a good reel. I've brought in my biggest fish, some of my biggest fish on that, and it handled them fine. It casts great. I can't complain one bit about it. I'd like to say that the more expensive reels are better, but at least as far as I've seen, that one's working pretty good.
You know, I'm kind of like it. I have the same feelings, you know. I love my Abus, and I always tell everybody I'm an Abu fanboy, you know. But do I fish enough to actually show a difference between that and like a Cast King? I don't know. As far as the Cast Kings go, I don't have any experience with them. I do have a friend who runs those Cat Max reels, and he's always happy with them, but he doesn't fish that hard. So I don't know. You know, you look at the musky guys that are casting 10,000 times. You know, they say 10,000 fish at 10,000 casts. They're running the low profiles, but that's just for weight advantage. I'm always curious as to how those reels break. I'm starting to notice, you know, the guys doing bumping. They obviously run the lighter, smaller reels. I
saw Hagengrub started trying that.
I even saw Spencer using an Okuma low profile reel. I was like, who is this guy? That was kind of funny to see him use that. But it is what it is. It's kind of cool to see everybody, you know, changing their ways. Let me see if we have any other questions here. We got a bunch of stuff. Oh, what's your favorite bait, Corey? That's what Rex Blocker wants to know.
Well, I like shad. I mean, shad is definitely my favorite bait, but we're not allowed to use cast nets or anything in Pennsylvania, except for a couple lakes. So I got to go all the way down to Maryland to get my shad. So I usually use fall fish or bluegill. I mean, bluegill live. You can keep them alive forever. They're not my favorite, but fall fish. If I could say something that I could catch, fall fish. It's like a big.
It's like a big what?
It's like a real big chub.
Like a big chub? Okay. I don't know. Our chubs get pretty big. How big do they get? Our chubs get pretty big here.
I've caught them probably about a pound before.
Wow.
They kind of look like a silver trout, really.
Yeah.
They get pretty big.
Huh. I think you know who I think I've seen Extreme Philly Fishing catch them on his creek videos and stuff, but he's up near your way. Well, your part of the country, I guess, right?
Yeah. He's fun to watch. Amazing what he can pull out of a little creek.
Yeah, he's doing all sorts of stuff. All right, let's see what else we got here. What's your go-to bait? Oh, mono or braid? Palmetto wants to know.
Well, I wish I had a solid answer for that. I'm always going back and forth. I like mono. The strength is really strong. I mean, you can't beat it for strength. But like
Mhm.
I was saying earlier, the river is just from the rocks. And if you get hung up with 30-pound mono in a boat, it's hard to break. You
Yeah.
start stretch a mile before it breaks.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed with mono. When I use it, if I get hung up, that stretch is what kills you. That'll pull you off anchor sometimes just because of that stretch factor. So I don't know. I use braid and it's
I usually use braid just because of that.
yeah,
Uh,
very cool. And what do you run? 30-pound? What do you run braid? What do you run mono? Different, same, what as far as pounds? And,
the braid, I'll run 50 to 65 pounds just to try to make up for it fraying and trying to compensate for it breaking. But yeah, if I run mono, I have a reel set up with 30, and then I have a blue cat reel I use down on Potomac with 40 on there, just in case I catch one of those 80-pounders they got.
what's your biggest blue cat?
I think it was 46 pounds. So,
Yeah, not bad at all. Ask me what my biggest blue cat is.
what's your biggest blue cat?
Zero. I'm still looking for that fish. We're gonna get it this winter, man. It's killing me. I have blue cat envy big time, my friend. Winter's coming.
I got to drive for it. It's not easy to get them.
Yeah, we're gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can't talk. Jonathan's been bothering me about that. We'll see if I can't talk to him anyway. Betty Jean has a question. Do you prefer anchoring, dragging, or drifting for shovel heads and live or cut bait? Have you heard the word shovel heads?
Okay. Yeah, shovelhead. Talking about those flags. I mean, they definitely, and they use it like a shovel. They dig down when you start reeling them in, so that makes sense. But I usually anchor, especially on the Susquehanna, because the depth changes so much that drifting would be a nightmare. It'd be the time. I'd love to start bumping, but I gotta start finding some deeper areas that smoother bottoms. I'd try bumping that, but I anchor. I'd say 95% of the time.
Use single or double anchors. You got enough current to just use a drift sock, or?
Right now, there's no current unless you're right below a dam. There's nothing. Earlier in the year, when we actually have rain, I'll do 2 anchors. I'll throw my front out and then just throw 30-pounder or something to hold me. Usually wind. A small boat like that wind is killer. So you got to anchor up.
If that river's as wide as you're saying, there isn't too much place to hide from the wind. So.
Sometimes you tuck behind an island, but then as far as the live or cut bait, it depends on the season. Spring, I usually use all cut bait. I try live bait in the spring, and I just don't get much action on it. Yeah. As the summer moves in, water warms up, I'll use live bait. Actually, right now they're crushing live bait, and then as it starts getting colder, about where they're about to shut off, I'll switch back to cut bait. So it's always a toss up. I usually have 1 out of live and then the rest cut, and then if they're hitting live, I'll switch over to live.
Yeah, I do the same thing, try to alternate and stuff. What's your rod limit out there?
So we're allowed three a person.
3 a person?
And then you get down on the Potomac and you get kind of spoiled. It's unlimited in the title section. So, yeah,
how many of you run?
By myself, I've tried 7, and it gets kind of chaos, especially when you get into a school of dinks or something like that, and your lines it's a nightmare. I can run 6, but it's work. It becomes work at that point.
It's a lot of work, and especially getting all that bait, man. I always wonder how these guys that run like 8 to 10 to 12 rods, when do they have time to catch all that bait?
I don't know. At least down there, I mean, the shatter, they're massive. Let's see if I can get this in. They're about that big down there. So one of those goes a long way. You cut that up into 3-4 pieces. But
shad's a little hard to come by here, but we're starting to find them. And about, I don't know, like 5 weeks ago, they were coming in at about this big. Last night we were catching them like this. I was so happy when we got 6 of them. I was ecstatic. It lasted all night for cut bait. I was like, that's incredible. I was a happy man. I've never caught them that big over here. And then I see you guys on your videos cutting up big chunks of them. Definitely need to get out a little more. See what we got here. Let's see if we got any more questions here. Something about a hairline. Do you do any dragging?
I've attempted it down there. Like I said, the Potomac. I try to drag and bump and all that. I'm just not confident in it. You know, I have a day to fish down there, and I just do what I know works. I'd love to experiment more, but it's hard to make yourself get out of the comfort zone when you drove that far and you have, 5 hours to fish. So you do what works. But bumping looks like fun. Dragging looks like fun. I'd like to go with somebody that knows what they're doing and learn a little bit about it. But yeah,
it's hard to set that confidence aside, isn't it? You go with what's producing fish, and you know that if you stick with it, there's a chance that you're going to get something, and you have no idea if there's no chance trying something new. So I've been trying to do the same thing. I've been trying to this year. I've just started dragging baits this year, and to mix results, but I'm having fun trying. It's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than I thought, but it's pretty good. We've been doing all right. And when they hit, I've been dragging for channels. When they hit, it's crazy. It like twists. I got Driftmaster rod holders in the back of my boat. I don't know if you noticed. So they're like 2 T's, one on each side. And when one hits on one, it twists it all the way around. And I got them like cranked down. Cool. So that's kind of fun. Hey, Jonathan,
it always looks like a blast.
Good luck out there, Jonathan. Jason Blackburn's out too. How you doing, Jason?
How you guys making out there? You catching anything?
Yeah, you catch anything, Jonathan? Jason, anybody?
A little preview here.
I'm sure if you message him, he'll tell you.
Yeah. But you were talking about just confidence. You're fishing in 3 foot of water. That's something I really struggle to do, is fish shallow water. In the 3s and 5s. Like I'm always looking for the holes, and then actually lately I've been fishing really deep water, like 35, 40 foot water, and it feels so weird. It feels, something that you shouldn't be doing. You think flatheads are out shallow, they're out prowling, but it's been working, and sometimes you just got to try something different.
Something different, yeah. We don't have a choice. I can think of a couple holes. I know where there's like a couple of 8 foot stretches, a couple choke points that get up to like 9 feet. I know where there's like the mouth of I think it was dredged out a few years back. It gets up to like 11 feet. Navionics says there's a 14-foot hole in one section. I haven't been able to find it yet. I've been looking. Every time I go by there, I'm zigzagging back and forth through the channel. Never find it. Let's see what else we got here. But I definitely said, it's just the opposite for me. I went out to the Kaskaskia, and it's 22 feet there. I don't fish that deep of water often at all. And then when you get out on the Mississippi, I was seeing depths within like 50 yards go from 4 feet to 60 feet at the end of a wing dam. Yeah. I was like, whew. I had no idea. I was undergeared and over rivered, I like to say. I was not ready for that. So next time I go, I'm going to go with somebody who knows what they're doing. I can think of a couple of people that I'd like to do that. Hello, Jason. How are you, man? Let's see what we got. Betty says 18 is old. So you got are you married? Do you have kids? What's going on with your personal life? Not that I need to know. Maybe some people.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, so I'm married, and we have 3 kids: a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and actually a 17-year-old.
Wow,
it's kind of crazy in the house, but we foster. So we have 2 foster kids who hopefully soon will adopt. So
that's fantastic. Good for you. God bless you.
Oh, thanks. So I went from having a 5-year-old well, I guess he's 4 at the time, and then all of a sudden I got a kid half my age. So it's been a whirlwind lately, but it sure has been great. And they take up some of the fishing time, but it's so worth it.
Do you ever get them involved in fishing, or do they have no interest in it?
So I've tried. Actually, my daughter, a 17-year-old, she wants to get out, and it's just she works and with school, it's kind of hard. I've had my 5-year-old out on the, and I looked into a flathead. He had no interest. He just wanted to play with his dinosaurs. But he just likes getting out on the boat. And then I've had him carp fishing. The 2-year-old, he doesn't have any. He's got no survival instincts. I can't bring him out on the boat yet. He'd be in that water in no time. So.
I'm trying to see if anybody's shooting on any questions. Let's go. How about your wife? Does she? We call our wives our sponsors? That started with Chad and Dockery. How is she into fishing? Does she just support you? Does she not support you? What's going on there?
Yeah, so she's not so much into fishing, but I gotta say I hate to just sound like a nerd here, but she's a saint. I mean, she puts up with my fishing and she watches the kids, and she lets me go out at least once a week without question, and that means more to me than anything. She knows I get a little cranky if I don't get out fishing. So yeah, you gotta have your therapy out there.
My wife, when I go out fishing, she hopes I catch something because I come home really cranky. If I'm skunked, she hides for cover. Yeah, my wife wants nothing to do with fishing, but she's pretty supportive of me, going out and fishing as often as I can get out there. And with the YouTube stuff, she's actually more of a YouTube groupie, not of mine, but of a couple other channels. So she gets a kick out of the fact that she just sees me on there whenever I tell her I'm done. So, which I kind of like. It's kind of impressive. So, once again, folks, down in the description after the show, I have all the links. I have the links to Cory's channel. You guys, please go on to Flatty Daddies. Give him a sub. It's a great channel. He's been out there for a while. We need to get the word out. He's well deserving. He works hard and he gets on a lot of fish. And I think you'll be entertained. I know I am. So I also have all the links to the Weekend Catfish links after my little section at the beginning that I don't know what to call that yet, but I kind of summed up the Weekend Catfishing. Also, I want to say that Palmetto Cats, Palmetto, you're having, I think, Mike Morello on this week. Can you correct me in the chat and I'll put it up in the board, my friend? I'm sorry. I've been so busy. I'm kind of been crazy. Waiting for Palmetto. We'll see what it'll do. I can always get onto his channel too. Sometimes I can multitask. Michael Morello is on Palmetto's. There it is. Is on Palmetto show Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. I think his is 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So he always has a good show. What's going on, Jim? How are you, buddy? Let's see. That's the rumor. Mike's a good guy. He's a good supporter of everybody. He's a good man to have as a sub to your channel. So, and Smith actually posted a link upstairs. I'm sorry?
I've heard that Palmetto name a lot. I got to get on there and start checking out his channel and a lot of these other people out here. I need to branch out more. I was telling you that before. I kind of have just a couple channels I watch, and I really need to start watching some more of these channels. There's a lot of good people out there.
There's so much good content out there. There's so many good people in this chat alone, let alone, people outside. There's, Avid, who gave me, actually on this very show right now, he invited me to go on and he caught me. I would never have done it, but he caught me at the right time with my wife in the room. She's like, you should do it. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Just like we were talking about.
Gotta get you.
Yeah, and I've met so many good people, so many people that support me, people I get to bounce ideas off and stuff. I just wish I could do more for every single one of the people in this room. I try to do as much as I can with as busy as we are. So you're always welcome to stop by, give me a shout out. I'd be more than happy. You can post your links to your videos on my group. I'm sure a lot of other guys will repost your stuff. So we're always trying to help each other. So that's a good thing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be starting to do that more often here.
All right. Hopefully I'm not missing too much. Oh, look at this. Here's an invite from Betty Jean. You're missing out one of the greatest catfish family on earth. Come hang out. You're always welcome, just like I said.
It does seem like a family out here. It's awesome. Everybody knows each other. Everybody seems like they get the inside jokes. That's pretty cool.
So Michael Morello wants to know, what are some of your favorite channels?
Well, I guess I watch Chat's Cats. I've been watching Hog and Grubs a lot. Hook Catfish. I really like his videos, and Catfish and Crappie. I heard that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
I watch I watch Spencer's channel a lot, and I started off with the Catfishing Carp and Steve Douglas and all those big names, and I've been watching, slowly branching out, but those are some of the main ones. I watched Extreme Philly Fishing. You mentioned him earlier. He's always entertaining, not always catfish, but always entertaining. Watch Tide Pig Patrol. There's a bunch. Those are the ones coming to mind right now, but I definitely watch a lot.
I watch Josh too, and Spencer. Josh is something. He's an acquired taste, but I kind of get where he's coming from. He's just being himself, which is fine. When I was his age, I was rambunctious too. I know some of the some people, you either like him or you don't. He seems to be doing well for him, but he fishes pretty hard. And I still watch Extreme Philly Fishing from time to time. I try to get on there, check out his channel, good stuff. Oh, and Realistic Fishing too. That's another good show. I like to watch him.
He's pretty good. I see him doing a lot of collaborations. That's usually when I catch him, but yeah, he has a good channel.
And I watch, I don't know, I guess on Sundays or Saturday mornings, I still watch Catfishing and Carp. Every Sunday morning I have my coffee and watch him and move on. So I kind of like watching.
My one boy calls it Two Kids Fishing because he hasn't realized there's a third one on there yet, but he loves watching that. We'll watch that on TV. Usually Saturdays we'll hang out together and watch that.
Do you show him the Outdoor Boys? His second channel? Yeah. They might even like that better. Yeah.
He likes that one more. It's all the crazy stuff they do. Definitely more entertaining than just watching fishing for a 5-year-old. But yeah, that channel can teach you a lot. That's fun. It
does. And he's been doing it for so long. And he's a smart guy, and he's got, he's from Alaska, so he's got the outdoors and fishing in his blood. So, I would consider myself living a charmed life if I lived his. God bless him for that. But wouldn't that be awesome? That would be so cool.
I just don't know how he has the time. I look every time I watch his episodes, I'm like, how do you do that? You're a lawyer. You have 2 channels, 3 kids. Like, where do you find the time? That's always impresses me.
I can barely find the time to get. I've been having a hard time getting any videos together. I'm missing a video I meant to get out this week. The second part of that kids fishing one. I haven't had a time between life and getting ready for this and trying to get out fishing at least once a week to bank a little bit of video for once I get a little bit of free time, which is kind of funny. It's kind of hard, and I'm sure everybody here can attest to that.
Yeah. Everybody here has a life to live and a job to work at. I mean, that's how it goes for us. So.
All right, let's see. Oh, here's a question. Let's see what this one is. Question. It seems that people often ask anchor, drag, or bump, but less often ask, do you ever use bobbers? Do you ever use floats?
That not yet. I've been watching these guys that do it. It makes a lot of sense, but no, I haven't got into that. I'm flathead fishing is just in my mind. It's their bottom fishing. You put it on the bottom and let it go. But you see all these guys having a lot of luck with the bobber floating, and definitely got to give it a shot here. I'm just not set up for it yet.
I use it in the daytime. It's guaranteed in the daytime. Because you know how Spencer floats. Spencer and Denny float baits in. They get right up on those log jams and those root balls and stuff. Yeah. Well, I kind of just use a float, and I'll park my little boat, 20 feet above it, and just gently drift my baits into there, try to keep them out of there. And it's pretty. Last year up until this year, my PBs were all caught during the day.
Yeah. That's glad you say that. That's kind of the same with me. I never thought that be the way it goes. But yeah, the big ones seem to be biting during the day.
Yep.
But
and
yeah,
I know Jonathan just put out a video with him and Brandon. They're fishing in one. They were fishing in this one spot, and they were floating baits, big bullheads on floats. And I know also that Red Beer setting hooks did really good with a monster one this year. I think he got a 50-pounder fishing floats. So, good question, Mr. Morello. You always have good questions, buddy.
That's a real good question.
You should try them. I use both. I use like the big floats, like the Muddy River catfishing type ones, which also the good ones are made by Patriot James. He makes some good ones, as well as the Whisker Seeker ones, which are nice. But I go in after them, man. They add up. Those Whisker Seeker ones are like $7 a pop. I'll go in after them if they get caught up. I'm not afraid.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a lot of money to throw at it. But yeah, I definitely am going to start trying it here.
So you were talking about you fished a tournament last weekend. Is that something you want to talk about, or are you going to save that for a video?
No, that's fine. I can talk about it. I put it on Facebook, so yeah, okay. It's not a secret. Yeah, so we fished the Catfish Mafia series up here. It's the biggest series out here. It's actually run by some really good people. If anybody watching is actually out this way, definitely recommend trying it. But yeah, we did pretty good. It was pretty much a 24-hour tournament. You get a 3-hour break in between the two tournaments, but the first leg wasn't great. I had a bunch of boat issues, blew a fuse in the motor I didn't even know I had. Had to get towed in, and then I almost sunk my boat because I left the live well running the whole time. But the second leg, we 3 fish. We got about 78 pounds, and that was enough to put us in 5th place. So it was great. I mean, yeah. They actually paid out 5 places for once because there's 46 boats, so they actually added a couple extra places. So we just squeaked in there, but. Yeah, it's amazing what they bring in that area. I think first place had well over 100 pounds. So
that's crazy. Is that just catfish in general, or was it flatheads?
So it's your main pot is usually flatheads. You're not going to do too well if you're bringing in channels, but they do a side channel pot, and they'll pay that out separate. And they do fish, and they gave out some money for the veteran with the biggest fish. So that was really cool. But yeah, it's a cool series. That was our last tournament of the year. It's called the Ironman, and 24-hour tournament basically. So I think we came in 7th out of all the teams this year. So it was a good year. We stepped it up a little bit. Chad really stepped it up. My brother-in-law, he was catching some monsters this year in this tournament. So yeah,
it's good when you have a partner that works out, huh?
Yeah, he's just as nuts as I am with this stuff and any of these guys on this channel. So,
all right. So Betty has a question. What would you be fishing for if you weren't chasing shovelheads? I think Betty's asking these questions to get me to say shovelhead. I think she's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I'd be fishing for bait, but I guess I'd probably still be trout fishing. There's a lot of trout out this way, and that's what I grew up doing. Until I started. I had smallmouth bass. There's a lot of them on the river. But, yeah, it's kind of hard to go back or do anything else once you catch a shovelhead. It's nothing quite like that. Channel cats, I guess I'd be channel cat fishing.
Yeah. As far as like trout goes, we up in southwest Wisconsin, or actually Midwest Wisconsin, there's a lot of trout streams and stuff, but I don't get a chance to go out there. So I kind of stick to the stockers that we have here.
Yeah.
Are they stock trouts out by you? Are they in the streams? Are there lakes with them? What's that look like?
So yeah, they're streams and lakes, reservoirs. They're mostly stockers. There's some with some native browns and brooks. You go up towards State College and all that. There's a lot of native streams. But they're only going to be about this big. If they're fun, you you really got to know what you're doing and sneak up on them. But
yeah. And are you fly?
That's what Betty was up to.
Are you fly fishing for them?
I wish I could say patience to fly fish. No, I usually throw on some trout mags or a spinner bait, something like that. the trout mags, they've been the best gift I've ever found, especially bait fishing. Oh my God. You guys don't try them. Throw that for your bait. They work.
Really? Those little trout magnets work good for bait, huh?
Yeah, I always thought they were a gimmick, but you'll catch bluegill and fall fish or creek chub like no other on those.
I use the jigs. I buy the jigs whenever I come across them, the trout magnet, the jig heads. And
Yeah.
I like using the Berkeley Gulp 1-inch minnows, the Berkeley Alive ones. They work well for me. I'm not having to look for worms or dig them up or go to Walmart or whatever. I always got 2 bottles of them in my truck, and they last all week. They do pretty good. So, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I was going to say Palmetto Cats received 4 rods. I think they're flathead. Oh, no, blue. Were they the flathead rods? Palmetto, speak up. Are they flathead rods? I forgot. Or the blue cat rods from they were flathead rods. From Chris Flores himself, he got in the mail this week. How crazy is that?
Wow. Hey man, you're going places there. If you're getting 3 rods like that from Chris Flores, that's awesome.
Oh, I saw them.
That's really cool.
I was so happy for him. Maybe he just didn't want to see Palmetto use those ugly sticks anymore. I'm just giving him trouble. I love ugly sticks. Trying to think what else. Trying to get questions.
They catch fish.
Last week when I talked to Denny, I kind of felt bad. I want to apologize to everybody too. I should have let you guys ask more questions. So I'm trying to be a little more attentive to you guys as well. So if you'll forgive me. So I'm trying to scroll through here, trying to make sure I'm not missing any. If anybody has a question I did miss, if you could please post it again, I'd appreciate it. Let's see. Any advice on catching flatheads in a lake? Do you do any lake fishing for flatheads?
Oh man, Catman, I wish I could help you out there. I don't have any lakes around here with catfish. If I get full heads, yeah, I can help you out there. I wish we had them because that would be fun.
I don't know how I would fish for them.
I've never done that. Have you ever done that, Mark?
Never caught a flathead on a lake. Never. Channel cats, that's it. I've never caught anything. Never caught a flathead on a lake. I know a couple of ponds here where there might be some flatheads that I heard rumors they were released in, but we'll see how fast those bass disappear in there.
Yeah, they'll be the only fish here soon.
All right, let's see what we got here. When is the latest you have caught a flathead on it? Yeah, how late in the season? What's the latest in the season you've ever caught a flathead?
November, I'd say, about November.
November, that late, huh?
You know, once it hits 50 degrees out here and the water hits 50, it's almost impossible. But, you know, if you have a warm summer, you can keep that water going into the 50s until November. I don't really see that, though.
So that's what you're looking for? Usually 50 degrees is usually the cutoff, huh? Water temp?
I mean, I keep fishing, but that's about when it's about it's so unpredictable in Pennsylvania what you're going to get weather-wise.
Yeah, Norm caught. I was out with Norm fishing last weekend, and he caught. I didn't realize that was the first flathead of the year. He caught it on a night crawler. I've seen lots of guys do that too. Medusa rigs and stuff. That works. You'll get them every now and then. I've actually caught like a 1 pound flathead on stink bait once. I was looking for frying channel cats, and it just took it. It was on a little treble hook thing. So let's see. We had a question here from Justin's Fishing Fetish. Hey, Justin, I didn't see you come in. How are you, my friend? Do you fish from the bank ever?
Yeah, I actually, you know, I grew up doing that. Down on the Schuylkill, I fished on the bank a lot. You know, I got a boat. I try to use that, make use of what I spend the money on. I have a lot of respect for bank fishing. It's hard, you know. You're pretty much limited to one spot. You really got to find one good spot, and you got to put some time into finding a good spot. So that's tough.
And wait them out. You know, I watch Catfish Dave too, like so many other people, and he made a good point when he was just bank fishing. This is back in May. He was talking about fishing one spot for like a month at a time. He's like, you won't know if there's fish there unless you do that. And it made sense because you get a big flathead eats like a 1 pound to 2 pound carp. How long before they eat again? Maybe a week. Yeah. If you're going like once a week or something, what are the chances you're going to hit it on the time that he's not, sitting there digesting it? So that kind of always stuck to me. So
that makes a lot of sense.
I did that on a couple of spots, and I've caught flathead where I thought there were no flathead. So that was kind of cool. No monsters, but I was still happy to see them. And I don't really think they were traveling as far as you'd think they were. So that was kind of interesting. So let's see what we got here. So how long have you been making YouTube videos now? When did you get started?
I'd say really making them for the last 3 years. Like actually, putting the effort into it and making videos I could. And before that, I was making waterfowl videos 2 years, but they were kind of garbage. I'll admit that they're just $40. But yeah, I'd say the last 3 years I've been putting them out, and the last 2 years using better programs and really just kind of hone my skills. So 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's a while to be. You've been doing it a lot, so you really must like it. What do you use to edit, if you don't mind me asking?
I use Vegas movie studio. It's like a mower tube behind the lake, so it's kind of cheaper. But it does everything I want it to do. I've never really used the real expensive ones. I don't know if I'm missing out, but it's pretty simple to use.
Your videos look great. I don't, unless you want to expand into doing some other stuff like Dieter Milhorn or new school stuff, like cinematography stuff. I think it works good. I use Movave. That was recommended to me by Spencer. And, for $90, it works perfect, man. And I don't have to pay every month. I don't have to pay every year. It's like once and done, and I was pretty happy with it. So far, so good. Yeah. The only thing I might want is a little better audio control, but I'm working my way around there. That was one of the hardest things for me. How about you? Yeah, yours sounds pretty good. I noticed that. See, I look at that stuff, so I don't mean to overanalyze your work, but I just look at it trying to get ideas for myself. So
I always use I don't know if you guys see, I wear a Hero 3 mount the case on my chest, and that has the best audio I found because it's not waterproof. So I always use that audio and overlap it with my video.
Here, I'm going to show you a little bit. What I found, my best video or best audio is with these Rode Wireless Go's. I found them, and they work great. I noticed that you use multi-cams, right? You use a couple of GoPros. Yeah. I admire you because I have a hard time syncing that up. But I'll run one all the time. And I run this on a lapel mic, right? Because it's wireless.
Okay.
And the audio is good, but getting it to sync with my chesty, or if I have something, like on a selfie stick, if I'm fishing with other people's, I'm still having a hard time getting them to sync. So any tips there for me?
I'll just spending a lot of time. That's what I do. I try to just sync up my lips to the audio. It's probably the worst way to do it. But, sometimes you wave on audio and you can see. I use Hero 6 for my secondary camera, and for the audio, you try to bring it down to the next layer and line it up. That works, but yeah,
here's a
lot of genius work.
Here's a little behind the scenes for everybody in the chat. If you notice my videos, you'll hear me cough once in a while, and I'll do that just so I get that peak in the audio, and that's the only way I've been able to do it. So I sound like some old man half dying to death, but it helps me. Jonathan says keep up the good work, and
pretty solid.
And he also says don't give up. So kind words from Jonathan. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks. Means a lot, man. Thanks.
Oh yeah, Betty Jean wants to hear how warm it was on the casket. Did you hear stories about that? I froze my butt off. It was 40 degrees. We're camping in a vinyl tent, right? Sleeping on an air mattress. I didn't sleep. I made it there one night, fished the whole day, and drove home all night the next night. I'd rather be exhausted in the car. I gave up, Betty. Yes, I gave up. I couldn't make it, and I apologize to Avid. Half Crazy's in the house. Hey, Half Crazy, how are you? James Dockery Fishing. Oh, thank you, sir. It wasn't me, it's the guest and it's the crowd. I have nothing to do with it. All I do is direct traffic, man. You guys are great. And Corey's a great guest. I haven't had a bad guest on here yet. I mean, Stan was fantastic. I see him growing everywhere. All you guys do is inspire me. I just wish I can do more to support you and help you trying to get caught up. So, oh, and by the way, if you guys didn't see me linking stuff today, just so you know, I got banned on Facebook for 24 hours. Long story. Message me on Facebook if you want to hear. It's kind of silly. Anyways, let's see what else we got. Betty Jean live streams too once in a while. I always like to see her on there. I know she's having fun out on the water with her husband. It's always nice to see them. Let's see what else we got. Doing pretty good. Oh, someone's eating zucchini bread. All right. So what else is going on? What's your plans for this weekend? Are you going out on Sunday night?
You know, I had plans to go out. I was actually going to do like a marathon fishing. I was going to fish, Sunday, and then I was going to fish all Sunday night and then into Monday because I had off. But plans just got changed. I got a call from my boss. I got to work all weekend now. I'll be starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning after this. So,
oh man,
yeah, that was a bummer. You got to work or else you can't go fishing. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, things change pretty quick. Our weather's getting ready to change too. So I got out last night. It's funny that you mentioned this. And I told a story to a couple of guys. I was coming home from an appointment, and I drove by an ambulance, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fish. And the ambulance goes by. I'm like, well, last time I was in an ambulance, I had some medical problems before. I thought to myself, I'd rather be fishing. So I heard that. I'm like, well, I guess this is where I should be fishing, right? Hooked up the boat and took off. So. It's stupid stuff like that. Let's see what else we got here. Chris is saying, all right, Chris, thank you very much for coming in. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Thanks for stopping by.
Let's see how we're doing here with people-wise. So, hey, we're still doing pretty good. If you guys could hit the like before you leave, I'd appreciate it. We got 30 likes, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. It's like everybody hit the like button. Oh, we got one dislike. I wonder who did that. That always.
We'll blame it on me. We'll blame it on me. That wasn't you.
We're not going to blame it on you. Who knows who does it? Hopefully somebody did that by a mistake. But it is what it is. It means I'm getting somebody's attention. It doesn't matter. Thank you very much. We got kind words from Palmetto Cats, guys. Unless you want to talk about something else, push something else. I appreciate you coming by the show. Before we leave, I do want to say I got a third batch of hats, people. They've been going pretty good. If you want a hat, message me on Facebook on the Catfish and Crappie group. I'll tell you how to get it. Basically, I can only take PayPal, so I'll just need a PayPal address and your real address, and I'll invoice you through there, and we can work that out. So get in touch with me if you want it. I'm not selling these for a business. I know a lot of people want them, but I've been going through them pretty good, so I got them. I might as well sell them. So I got like another batch, about 30. So that's right. Potato's gonna potato, right, Betty? Betty always says that, and it always makes me giggle a little bit. So there's some kind words. All right, how about you? You got anything? You got any merch or anything you want to push before you leave?
No, I don't have anything yet. It's in the works. Me and my wife are working on some shirts, but so far the vinyl's not sticking, and every time you wash it, the vinyl's peeling off. So I'm not going to sell anybody that crap yet. So we'll try. We're going to have something eventually.
Vinyl's tricky, maybe if I can think of somebody that might give you some hints and tips on how to get it done. You might want to friend somebody on Facebook. I'm sure if you shoot him a question, he's a busy man.
I wonder who that would be.
Yeah. It's one of my shirts. I just actually pulled it out of the dryer just for the show. So thank you very much, Betty. All right, people. Corey, thank you so much for being my guest. This is guest number 3 on the Fishing Live.
Thanks for talking me into coming on here. I was a little nervous about doing this live stream thing, so thanks for talking me into it. It was a good time. Great host, really.
When you told me that, when you told me that, Corey, I couldn't believe it. You seem so smooth in your videos. You really do. You seem like a natural. You seem the same way tonight. So whatever it is, it doesn't show. Go with it. You're going to do a great job. Like Jonathan, everybody's saying it was a good show. Keep up the good work. Betty said it was a good show. I'm sure hopefully you get some subs out of this. Hopefully some people watch and keep subbing. So I wish you the best of luck. And thank you again. And everybody out there, thank you very much for watching. Ace, I'll say one for you, buddy. You did great, Cory. We got Stan loves his Palmetto. Cory, come hang out more often. Yeah, stop by here. We got shows all week. If you look at the links I put in the description, if you want to find out where they are, you can always stop in. People will be happy to see you. You go in there and we'll always.
This is just a once a week kind of thing. I didn't realize you did this multiple times a week.
I do this every day. Those shows that I listed are other people's shows. It's gone from like Catfish Weekly, which is like the OG show, which is a great show, to people doing it every night. Chunky does. Have you seen the Chunky live streams?
Yeah, I've tuned in here and there with that. He fishes down there on that Potomac. It's I think he's pretty close to where I go down with my boat, so it's pretty cool to watch him fishing that.
Every time I hear that word Potomac, man, I think of him, and I don't get like jealous or envious. I want to get in on that blue cat action. So that's on my list. Again, and I don't mean to hold you up any longer. Thank you again, Cory. Thank you, everybody. And looks, you already got some subs. Thank you for showing up. I never know how to end these, but hold on and we'll say goodbye after we log off here. Thanks again, guys. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend. Get out there and fish.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Thanks for the questions.